I think we're on. I think we're live, and we are happy. Welcome to SAFC Fan TV and another edition of the Thursday Night Live. With us tonight, with myself, Wee Philly, we have Michael Bowers. Give us a wave, Michael.
Yeah.
I'll do a prayer instead.
That'll do. We have
Fine.
Jack Dodds.
Hey.
Jack, give us a wave. Good man. Jacob Dansaf. Hello, Jacob.
How we doing?
We also have the Doominator, who's already going to put the mockers on things when we speak to him. Dino is with us. Hello, Dino.
Hello.
And last but by no means least, we have the Mad Mistake. Hello, Terry. There you go.
That intro music's still shit, mine, Phil.
Yeah, but I saw you
30 seconds of me singing. 30 seconds of me singing.
Listen, I saw you dancing along.
Oh, yeah.
I saw you dancing along to it.
How can you see me dancing?
Ah, well, there you go. I can see everything
You've
you're
got
up
a
to
hidden
when
camera,
you're
haven't you?
Bolo's ending.
Right, let's not go there. Quickly remind you, we are live and we are available in the live chat if you want to join in the show. Feel good factor around Sunderland from yesterday and today, all of the events what have gone on. So if you want to join in on the chat, please do so. David Walker already there. Jack Dodds is in there. Daniel Moore, Jonathan Ryan, Scott Bain, Dave O'Mac, Mick Griffiths, all a shout out to you lot. And Conrad Lee, our editor, is in there as well. So where we're going to start, I think we was going to start with we're going to Wembley again. Look, Wembley. I'm live from Wembley Stadium, and then of course this afternoon the announcement that the takeover has gone through. Kirill Louis Dreyfus, the new chairman of Sunderland AFC. I think we're going to start with Jacob down south. What do you think? Are you happy with the takeover now that's finally gone through? And we've got the young 23-year-old in charge. Jacob?
Yeah, delighted. I mean, I had this horrible feeling in the back of my mind a few weeks back that it wasn't going to happen. It was lightning would strike twice in terms of what would happen to a Northeast club. I mean, you look at the Newcastle takeover falling through last summer, but it's done now. The long-term project's in place. You'll be bringing in certainly more staff, I reckon, over the next few weeks about building of what he sees will be a promising future for the club. But it all depends on who he'll want to bring on his journey with him. But over the moon, mate, I tell you. And also the fact we're going to Wembley as well. But it's great to get, as you guys say up north, a tackle done takeover. Happy takeover.
Oh, yeah, you stick to your southern accent because you never
Tackle
that's it.
Tackle.
Neil Thompson on the chat already says Wembley and a billionaire. What a combo. There you go. Terry, the Mad Mistake. You must be happy today, surely, are you?
Of course, I'm always happy. Why wouldn't I be happy? I'm even happier now that Stuart Donald's been put in the back burner with his tiny little small shares, small stake in the club. We've got this new lad who's already watching every single match on the stand. He's going to move to the northeast, probably somewhere in Durham. I could run past his house, knock on his door, and sing him a song or something. I don't know. Yeah, so it's good news, happy news. Billionaire. Billionaire. Waiting this.
Yeah.
Yes, of course I'm happy. I'm over the moon. It's a shame I'm not off work this week, otherwise I get pissed all week. I'm allowed to say that, sorry.
No, you're not. But it's all right. Pound in the swear jar, you'll be all right. Right then, so Michael Bowers, takeover, it's gone through. What do you think?
Can I just point out when Terry says he's always a happy man, except when you play midfielder at right back, then apparently he's really upset. As far as the takeover,
that's acting. I went to acting classes when I was younger.
As far as the takeover, no comment there. Okay, as far as the takeover is concerned, I'm just relieved that it's finally been officially completed because I got bored of speculating. It's been happening for months, and yeah, look, I think we all agree it's good to see that it looks like it's changed hands. But at the minute, I'm just going to sit back, see what happens, because I got quite attached early on to the last ownership, and look how that turned out. So let's just wait and see what his plans are. He's apparently he's moving to the northeast, which I would imagine that you're only going to do if you've got some serious plans for the club, which I hope so. We need to think of long term. It's the typical cliche. You need to think long term. However, for me, that shouldn't really come as much while we're in League One. Once you get the Championship, then the work really begins at that point. But obviously, while we're in League One, money's not going to be ploughed into the team. Money might be ploughed into the club off the pitch matters. But yeah, you go. Let's just see what happens. But hopefully it's going to be a much more positive era than what we've had recently.
Great stuff. Back to the live chat. We've got to give a shout out to Andrew Robbins, the cereal online shop. I've not delivered to him today, but I did wave at him as I went past his house, though he wasn't in. Charlie, One Rovers Vlogs, our friend, the Bristol Rovers fan. Thanks for tuning in. Charlie says we're smashing the content. Thank you very much. Tony Lee on the chat says, fancy us getting to Wembley twice this season and winning both times. Well, we'd take that. Mad mistake, you'd want in?
Yeah, I was just wondering on this SteamYard, right? This SteamYard app, is there any way I can see the comments or not, or is it just not possible?
Click the comments right-hand side next to private chat.
We'll give you a lesson on it next time before you go on. Have you got them now?
Click here.
I hope so. Right. Okay. Well, what we'll do, we'll go to Jack Dodds. So the takeover finally gone through. It was announced late this afternoon. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, relatively happy. Well, very happy that it's gone through. I think Michael's right when he says let's not get too excited. The last one did look really, really, really good at the time. Having said that, I still am plastering French emojis everywhere, so maybe I'm just making that worse. But quite an interesting point that I think is that he's coming in as chairman as well, and that kind of prevents him sitting thousands of miles away and just writing off a checkbook as soon as it comes in. He's going to be there doing the day-to-day business. He can see how the finances work and how the academy's running, how the first team players are training if he really wanted to. I think it's important for him to move to the area and actually be the chairman as well. It does add a lot of pressure on him, but at the very least, he's going to be able to see how things are going day to day, and he's going to be able to manage everything better, as opposed to if he was sat hundreds or thousands of miles away, just signing off a checkbook. Things are going to run more efficiently. Quite interesting with his age, 23. A lot of people would raise an eyebrow at that, but I think what's important is that he's going to come with a lot of experienced people around him. His family got an illustrious history owning football clubs, and I hope that they can kind of help him out. And he's going to come with some good advisors who can kind of combine that that youthness with a bit of experience, that he doesn't get exposed. A little tiny bit disappointed to see that Methven, Satori and Donald still keep the shares. I don't think they have the club's best interest at heart from my perspective. However, an interesting point is that it could potentially play into our hands with them having been at the club since summer 2019. They're going to know the club quite well, the area quite well, and they might just be past the odd bit of information on them that could help. I don't want them having any control, but potentially might be able to influence some of these decisions positively because they have been here so long and they know the club so well. But I just hope this is the end of takeover talk for a while, and that this is the last we have to talk about with takeover, hear about takeover, speculate over takeover, because this is the start of a successful, long, illustrious era.
Good man. Right, just very quickly, back to the chat. We got to say hello to the Bristolian Mackham, fan of the show. Thanks for tuning in. Also, Stephen Hensel, friend of ours, says he's already bought a house in Pennywell. So KLD, moving to Pennywell. What a lucky guy. 135 watching the stream already. 28 likes. Hit the thumbs up. Take a second to do that. We like to try and hit 100 on a Thursday night if we can do that. So it's been a brilliant time in Sunderland over the last 24 hours. We've all been excited. It says here on the chat, Mad Mackham 88, Dino, bring me down. Dino, bring me down. So, but even Dino, listen, even Dino cannot be down at this. I mean, the takeover, it's gone through finally. Dino,
strap yourselves in, everyone.
You're a happy man, aren't you, Dino?
I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad it's over. We don't have to speculate. It's done. I've still got me doubts because he is very young. People say he'll have advisors around him, but didn't Ellershot have advisors around him? It doesn't mean they're going to be experienced there. Yeah, they've owned Monaco, but I remember Monaco used to be in League Two.
Dino, let me
What?
quickly jump in. Can you not start like you did off camera where you said, I cannot believe what everybody's getting all excited about. Go from there.
I don't understand whatever. It's exciting because Donald's gone. That's what mainly people are excited about. Donald's gone. I mean, we were going to take William's story just to get rid of Donald, so anything was going to be better than Donald. That's what everyone's excited about. But I'm very I date now because he's young. He's got no experience. We've had an owner with money before, and look how that turned out. We ended up in loads of debt and picking whatever else happened. We dropped down into League One. He didn't give a shit about it in the end. I mean, we've had the worst owners possible, really, in the likes of Ellershot and the likes of Stuart Donald. And like you say, this bloke isn't. No, I don't know how to really put this without trying not to offend anyone, but I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. Actually, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I mean, you've just got to be wary. He's very young. Yes, he'll get advice, but is that going to be the right advice? You just don't know. You just got to see what happens. You can't change anything right now. The season's still going to go on. He can't sign players. He can't use his money. We've just got to see what he does next season. See if he does spend money or do what Stuart Donald done and just get freeze again.
So, well, fair enough. If anybody's going to bring you back down to earth after 24 hours, a cracking 24 hours in at Sunderland AFC, it's going to be Dino. He'll keep your feet on the ground. All right, so quickly, we've got to give a shout out to Acacia Cameron Jude on the chat again, fan of the show. Thanks for tuning in, Acacia. And also, what I want to talk about then. He's taken over, he's come in, and Stuart Donald, Charlie Methven, Juan Sartori are all still going to be part of the club. Does anybody know anything about the percentage of the share split? I'm assuming that's not been released, if that is ever going to be released. I must admit, I mean, I was adamant that if this takeover went through, Stuart Donald was still going to pull the strings. He would be running it on behalf of KLD. The fact KLD's taken the role of chairman on suggests differently, so that's a good thing. Does it bother you that they're still going to be here? Even though it's going to be, they're not really going to have a lot of power. Jacob, you're one in first.
Apparently, going back to the shares, Kirill Ludrufay, apparently it's only 59%. Whether there's much truth in that, I'm not sure. I mean, me, myself, I wouldn't know too many sources when it comes to personal business like that when inside the football club. But then again, I think it's about what he will want to do in the next few weeks. I think the good news is that it's signed on the dotted line now, but I think we'll slowly start to see his long-term plan as the weeks go on. I mean, we could see a situation where he might not want Donald and Methven to retain shares in the club at all. And I think we'll properly judge his future ambitions for the football club when it gets to the summer. I mean, obviously, it'll be much easier his job for him if we're in the Championship next season. But then again, I think even if we are still in League One, I think it's all about what he can do and what he will want to build for the future. The pressure will be on, but then again, I think this deal it's been talked about for the last couple of weeks now, and you could argue months as well. I think he will have different sorts of plans in place. So we just got to sit tight and give him all the backing he deserves.
Right. Quickly on the chat, David Walker says 60% apparently for KLD. Again, we don't know. I mean, it's early days. I have not seen anything announced. Lee Johnson says, that's Lee Johnson, who's actually tuned in watching, says, Philly, you deliver the parcels, I'll deliver the promotion. We'll take that. Tony Lee on the chat says, if Dino won the jackpot on the lottery, he'd still be unhappy. Jack, you was wanting in on Donald Methven, Satori, all still at the club. Go on.
Yeah. Don't get us wrong. I don't want them anywhere near the main decision making. I want Dreyfus and his advisors, the people who Dreyfus is going to be bringing with him, who've been running football clubs for years. You know, the likes of his family members and the people who's met along, and the people whose parents, have met along the way. I want them making the decisions. But one thing I think could be quite potentially interesting is, might Donald, Methven, and Satori be able to add something positive to this? I know we all like to view them in a negative light, right? And I'm no different. However, they've been at the club now since the summer of 2019. They know a lot about the club. They know a lot about the area. And they're not certain things that they might be able to advise to them. I hope they don't make the decisions. I hope they aren't the ones making the key decisions. And I don't want them having much influence. But just having their presence around, they might be able to add the odd thing here and there, the odd little word of advice, the odd little hint. Having been at the club for so long, well, not so long, but for a decent period of time anyway, and being so involved as they have been, they'll have got to know the club in the area and the people involved really well, and they might just be able to, nudge them in the right direction the odd time. So as much as I would have rather see them completely go, I'm just trying to look at the positive side ever so slightly and just think, is there a positive in those three actually staying? And I think there could be, as long as that's implemented in the right way.
Right. Philip Conlon, no. Philip Conlon on the chat says, is that actually Lee Johnson? And Farley further down says, I can't imagine it is, Philip. Mad mistake. Jack was talking there. You were shaking your head. And do you need to go to bed early?
I mean, I'm absolutely shy. I have no idea what positivity Charlie Methven can bring to anything. He's a horrible man. He's a horrible of the horriblest of men kicking about. You don't want him in the Northeast at all, full stop. Charlie Methven can bring no positivity to this club whatsoever. The only positive thing that he could do is piss off and stay pissed off down south. Simple as. He's a fucking horrible man. I'm sorry for swearing.
What am I going to do, Terry? I don't know how you can really call him a horrible man. Like,
have you seen what he said about the fans? What he said about the Northeast? We're all thick up here. Come on, how can he defend a creature like that? He's a creature from the lowest depths of hell.
He might not be the most respectful person at the time, but I don't think you can say he's a horrible person. And
he's a horrible man, give over.
He's been here for a long time.
He's been here far too long. He stands on social media and spouts his mouth off left, right, centre. How shite we are up here and how we all thick. How can we even defend a creature like that?
I'm not defending him as a person. I'm just saying he might be able to occasionally add some advice to Dreyfus, because he's been here for so long. He's been so involved with the club. I'm not saying he's a good person. I'm just saying, because of how long he's been here and how experienced he is working in the club, he might be at the occasional time point him in the right direction. That's all I'm saying. I would have preferred him gone, Terry. I would have preferred him gone. I'm just making a case for the opposition. Go on, Jacob.
Right,
Can I make an
Jacob, jump in quickly there.
Right. Where I stand on Charlie Methven, right? The one thing that I agreed with him on, especially when you watched him on the second series of Sunderland Till I Die, he was trying to identify like a negative culture within the workings of that football club and trying to build a more positive, like, working type of attitude for the future. Obviously, you can argue, though, the one thing that I don't agree with, though, was him playing out that argument he had with his work colleague on camera. I thought that was disrespectful. I finally got my word out. But at the same time, if you're going to be like that and act on camera, like telling your staff what to do and how it should be done my way, left, right and centre, you have to back it up by the decisions you make as well when you're in charge of these people. And it was hypocritical because his decision making was shocking as well. So it's 6 and 2 frees, and yeah, that's all I've got to say. But I agree with Terry that it's best he goes.
Yeah, but
I agree that it's best he goes. I'm just trying to look on the positive side ever so slightly.
Right, it's the thing is, so you can't argue the work ethic at the club when they came was shocking, really, and that's what he was trying to do. Just quickly on the chat, I want to say Mad Mackham 88's going, Terry. Acacia Cameron Juice says, go on, Terry. Lee Dell says, well said, Terry. Proper horrible man. Stephen Hensel, go on, Terry. Yes, 100%. You've got some backers there. Even Conrad Lee, whoever he is, says Terry. Doctor.
I can see where Jack Dodds is coming from, and probably maybe it's a little bit towards Donald, but Charlie Methven's just really is a horrible, selfish, greedy person. That's the opinion he comes across. I've never seen anything positive come out of that bloke one single bit at all. So I mean, even his salmon pants are absolutely terrible.
Look at him.
Charlie, if you're watching tonight, thank you very much for that pint of Guinness you bought me in St Pancras Station.
Shut up, Jacob, man.
That's all I'm going to say.
No, our friends. All right, Michael, you was sort of applauding Jacob when he was saying we're out of here. Your thoughts on it, on Donald Methven Zatori still being at the club?
Well, you obviously I do agree with what's been said, that I don't want them having control over the decisions. Donald, you can believe whatever you want to believe about Donald. Zatori, I believe, has done nothing for this club since he's been here. All he's really done is just get happy and looks like he's getting drunk on camera. That's it. Methven, I think when he first came in, I do actually agree with, I did agree with Jacob and Jack with him as well. Certainly Jacob when he was saying that, for me, the big reason Sunderland struggled and seriously underperformed over so many years is because the culture is all wrong. The culture at the work, and you just look on Sunderland till I die. Look at the work of the way that now maybe that was Sunderland till I die trying to edit in a certain way to suit a particular narrative. Maybe it
Which
was
always happens.
But I just think, yeah, it does. But I just think I think that what I've seen on there is exactly the reason why I believe Sunderland's players have struggled. I think the culture and mentality has been all wrong for years and years and years, and I believe that at least at the start, Methven was trying to fix that. Him going at what's her name? Sophie Ashcroft, I think it is. Him going at her on camera at the Bradford game on camera, yeah, okay. That I can't defend. That wasn't exactly the right thing to do. But to an extent, I didn't blame him for getting annoyed because it looked like stuff wasn't getting done. But at the same time, like Jacob said, you've got to be an example to your staff. You've got to make the right decisions yourself. You've got to show them out of respect. It works both ways. But Methven's also done a lot of things that are terrible. He's called the fans parasites. He's constantly, even if you look at those messages that are allegedly, we don't know if it's definitely true, but if they are from Methven, when there was slagging off Sunderland fans saying being realistic about being in League One. No, mate. Expecting to go out the third tier of English football isn't unrealistic. Get that into your head. That isn't unrealistic. It's perfectly fair to expect it. And yeah, I don't want them. Ultimately, I don't want the guys to have any decision making at the club. Donald's maybe occasionally, I don't know, but the other ones certainly not. And like I said, hopefully it's the start of a new era and hopefully a much more positive one because we deserve some up. Everyone goes support your club through the ups and the downs, or the good and the bad. I think we've had enough of the bad for quite a long time. Let's start having some good times, please.
Right, I agree with a lot of what you say there, Michael. On the chat, SAFC Dave 17 to Jacob Southerner friends apparently thumbs up. You and Charlie.
Charlie, that is
right.
not Charlie.
So
that is not Charlie. I'm sorry.
Right, was going to go to Dino very quickly, Terry. Before we go to Dino,
does anybody else think that Conrad Lee's picture thumbnail looks like the True Geordie?
Let's have a look. Let's just
a little bit.
Let's have a look.
Does it? I thought it was a True Geordie at first.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Does my comment offend you?
Yeah, Conor Bromley's dad. He looks like. There you go. Right then. So Dino,
Connor.
Donald Methven Satori still at the club. KLD in charge. Your feelings on that?
I've got no feelings at all. The businessman at the end of the day. I mean, if I was a businessman, you would do exactly the same. You wouldn't just sell your whole shares, would you? Because of the potential Sunderland does have. So I say from that point, but they are parasites for leeching onto the club and doing what they've done. I mean, I did have high hopes for them when they first came in. They spoke very well. They had a plan, and I know everyone was saying, "Oh, they just want to we're out the division first time and then sell we." That didn't happen, and then you could see the cracks showing from there when we didn't get promoted. Everything just started going downhill. We got rid of more players. We got worse players in. Decisions were just terrible in what was happening. We appointed the wrong man in Phil Parkinson because he was cheap. He was cheap to get instead of going for someone more driven. Yeah, it started to fall apart, and obviously I would have wished them to just get out the club. It would have been a lot easier. We could have just forgot about the whole Donald thing and just left that behind, but we can't do that because they're still leeching on. But hopefully one of these days, maybe KLD will buy them out or they'll move on to somewhere else. We'll just have to wait and see. But money in financial terms, we're in better hands now. This bloke's of Corney, top 5 richest in the world or something, or his mum is. But you'll still have to go and ask his mum if he can borrow a couple of £1 million for Sunderland, which is a bit of a shame because she might be in a mood and say no.
It's only like Jack having to ask his mum for pocket money.
I knew that was coming.
There you go.
I knew. As soon as you said ask his mum, I knew you were going to make a little joke.
It's just one of them. They can leech on as much as they want, but eventually leeches do fall off, and I believe that's what will happen with them.
Right, okay. Quickly on the chat. Sam Harrison, this is about Conrad. He's built like the true Geordie as well. Andrew Robbins, serial online shopper, says Conrad, the true Mackham, apparently. Mad Mackham 88 says Conrad looks more like Tyson Fury. So there's a few on that. Right then, what about our director of football then, Christian Speakman or Spackman or whatever he's called? The director of football, has he been appointed then?
Oh my God.
What's the matter? Has he been appointed by
you know what you're doing, Phil.
by KLD, do you reckon? Or what? Because it's unlikely in it that the former regimes brought him in and then he's going to stay. Are we happy with Spackman?
Yes. Of course, Christian Speakman's being brought in by Kirill Louis Dreyfus.
First of all,
of course, he has same as Lee Johnson's being brought in as well by Speakman and by Kirill Louis Dreyfus. It's all together. It's been a plan put in place for a long time now. Like Michael said ages ago, you wouldn't bring in a director of football and a manager without asking the new owner. The new owner's obviously been involved. And it's got to be one of his choices in the first place. So yeah, it's all one big plan. I've got full faith now behind the whole regime, as the leeches won't have much to suck on anymore.
Michael, Christian Speakman, happy with him?
Well, it's early days. You can obviously talk the talk, but we've been here loads of times when it's talk the talk and fail to walk the walk. So. Yeah, I'm still here. It's early days, but I mean, it's what I take from Christian Speakman's appointment is that he's brought in to just try and change the way we operate a club and try to change the way that we, like, for example, you've got a head coach model. He's going to be someone who's going to try and bring younger players in, really build them up and develop them, and then sell them on for money. And that's ultimately what he's going to be there for. And I've said it before, they have to be sustainable. So in that sense, yeah. But like I said, time will tell in the long run whether his appointment is a good one.
Right, okay. Quickly on the chat, Philip Collins says petition
and that's it.
For the mad mistake to be the new manager. He's got the drive we need. Certainly got passion, as Terry. That's what we like. Christian Speakman then, Jack. Quickly, because we've got quite a bit to get through. So you're happy with him?
Yeah, I think he was clearly brought in by the new regime coming in. I think Dreyfus, that was probably a decision made by Dreyfus and his backers and his partners, really. I can't see Donald Methven Satori bringing him in when that point the takeover was actually, I think the wheels were pretty much in motion at that point. So I think it's definitely been an appointment decision made by them. And from what I've heard of him on the Unfiltered podcasts, he seems as if I like what I hear of him, but he's not been at the club for me long enough now to make any kind of judgment on him. So I'm quite positive towards him. I like what I see so far, but it's far too early to comment on. But yeah, he's definitely been brought in by the new regime, and hopefully that this is the key, and hopefully he can take us to where we need to be.
Okay, Terry, are you okay?
Yeah, probably just long COVID. I'm not quite sure.
That's all right. We just want to check on you. That's all. We'll come to you after we've been to Dino. Dino, Director of Football, Christian Speakman. Good move.
I don't understand. Like, you have like so many titles. You've got chief executives. You've got director of football. You've got so many people with so many different titles. What happened to the good old days where it was just the manager and the chairman, and the manager decided who he wanted to sign and speak to the chairman to get the money? There's just so many roles. Like, I don't even know what part Speakman plays in all this. It's just another title. I mean, what did we get rid of the other lad? What was he called? Rodwell or someone like that. What happened to him?
No,
Rodwell.
No, he's still there, I think.
Rodwell
wasn't he supposed to do Speakman's job? I mean, there's that many people who are supposed to be doing these jobs. No one even knows what anyone's even doing. So for me, I just like the days where it used to be the manager and the chairman. You've got none of this chief executives and chief scouts and all this bollocks. It should just be the manager deciding what players he wants, so the chairman can get them in. They do the negotiations, blah blah blah. It's just another fucking title, which I get sick of.
Yeah, you've got to have scouts and stuff like that, though. Director of Football buys the place, surely, doesn't he? Terry, Christian,
he's been brought in to nurture the academy as well, hasn't he? He's been brought in to find new young talent for the academy, that's been neglected over the last few years. You don't want the likes of Lee Johnson spending too much quality time trying to find young players coming through here, there, and everywhere. I want Lee Johnson to concentrate on the team he has and the squad he has, and to get the best out of that team and spend the full amount of his ability time to do that. I want someone else to find the young kids coming through and speak to the owner about that. I don't want the manager to be affected and be distracted by other things. Take that out of his hands. Let Lee Johnson solely concentrate on getting us promoted and winning at Wembley. That's all I want.
Quickly on the chat, David says, jobs for the boys, Dino, apparently, and someone to sack when things go wrong. So there's an answer for you. Jacob, Christian Speakman, Director of Football. Is that how you like a club to be run?
It's debatable. I mean, with directors of football in place, I think a manager doesn't get a lot of say on the signings that are brought in. I think it's mainly down to the director of football to look at the team that's currently in place and see what additions he could bring in to improve it. I think it's Lee Johnson's job as head coach to try and improve them as footballers in general. But it's not guaranteed, like Dino said. Even though Christian Speakman, he used to be at Birmingham before. He was responsible for launching the careers of Jude Bellingham, who's now at Borussia Dortmund, Jack Butland as well, former England international. But then again, it's not guaranteed. At the end of the day, it's going to be long term, this project, and it's all about the investment that is backed up with what he will want to bring for the future within that academy, because our academy at the minute it needs some serious investment, because there has been mistakes being made. I mean, look at, was it the geezer Hugo, who's recently left? He's been banging them in for Man United recently. Barley Wimber's doing fantastic at fantastic prospects that we've let go for peanuts, to be honest. And yeah, the whole regime needs to change, and hopefully things can start to change soon.
Right. Dino, you wanting quickly?
Yeah, I seen Jacob mention like Jude Bellingham and Jack Butland. They're two players who have came out of nowhere and done this. But what about all the failed people he signed and all the failed projects who are supposed to be these great things? Like, they only ever look at the players who he's done well for. What about all the players he's done nothing for? There's two sides to that coin, and for me, two people in how many years he was there, is that really good enough? Not particularly.
And there's
Damari
probably
Gray to name another one.
Damari Gray as well.
Right, just very quickly, because last thing on this, so keep it brief because we've got loads still to get through. Right, so I take it everybody's happy with the takeover. KLD coming in as chairman, even Dino. Dino, can you just nod that you're still happy with that? Yes.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's over.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, just quickly, a question I want to put to you all then. If everybody's happy with this takeover, surely Stuart Donald deserves some credit on this. Then, does he not? By selling to him, I mean, we could have ended up with William's story, you know. So, just very briefly, do you think Stuart Donald deserves credit for that? Then, Michael. Michael's on the moon.
He's just behind, I think.
You could argue, yes, because it depends. It depends. Well, if the alternative was, Anyway, the alternative was William's story, and we obviously know that you can believe whatever you want to on that. I mean, loads of other people who offered more money but wouldn't have had. Well, it depends. It depends if KLD has the best interests of the club at heart. Obviously, he'll be thinking of his own interests first and foremost, but if he has the best interests of the club at heart, at least aligning with his own interests, then yeah, Donald does deserve a bit of credit. I just think when you look at the £20 million, for example, that was allegedly taken out of the club, whatever it was, then I think people are going to be reluctant to give Donald a bit of credit. Let's just say that. So you could argue it.
Right.
I don't have an opinion on that one way or the other.
Right. Okay. I mean, I think he deserves credit for selling to him. Dino, we'll go to you next. You're waving your finger.
Yeah, you can't give credit to something what he hasn't done anything yet, so you can't give him credit because you could say the same. Like everyone's like, oh, we've got Stuart Donald, we should give credit to Ellis Short. If anything, it was Ellis Short's fault. He sold it to Stuart Donald because look at the 3 years we've been in this league. So you kind of just say, oh, we'll give him credit. He hasn't done anything yet. You've got to give him a season. If he gets, say we don't go up this season, but we got promoted next season with all his signings and his money's ploughed in, then you say, yeah, credit to Stuart Donald. He's made the right move. But if we're still in League One and within the next 2 to 3 years, you say, well, you sold to the wrong man again. It just depends on how he runs the club. You can't give him credit right now.
Right, fair point, that Dino. Jack, keep it brief.
Yeah, you say that, Phil, but then in the same breath, he has sold to an owner who's actually allowed him to keep some of his shares. I'm not going to go into William's story and other potential buyers, but I think KLD is probably the only one who's still offered Donald to keep some of his minority shares. That is, in a business sense, that's very beneficial to him because he gets to keep that small percentage of the club. So when things do turn around, which they will, it might take time, but we will get back to back to the Premier League one day. It might take years. It might only take a couple of years. It might take 10. You don't know, but we will get there one day, and then he can sell those shares and make boatloads of money, and he could possibly retire. So, as much as you can say, oh yeah, he sold this one, he's done it for himself. Let's be honest. I don't personally believe that he sold his club with the intention of, I want the owner to come in and do really well for the club. I think he sold it to KLD because he's offered him to keep a small percentage of the club, which means he doesn't have much responsibility, but he can keep some of his shares. So when we do get back to the Premier League, he can sell his shares, make loads of money, and go and retire in Monaco with KLD.
Right, what we're going to do, we are going to, when the show finishes, we're going to set Jack a little bit of homework on how to keep it brief. And hopefully he'll
Well,
get
I'm
that.
very used to homework, Phil.
Yeah.
Give him attention.
Terry, does he Sam will tell. Is that it? Is that it, brief?
Was that meant to say well said, Jack?
Well
I
said.
think so, but
English,
Terry,
mate, English.
Terry's homework is going to be spelling. That's going to be spelling. That's what.
Nobody down south English.
Excuse
Is
me.
Terry drunk?
It's on his
It's
about
after 12
20th can
probably.
tonight. Yeah, surely.
Hang on quickly before we go to Jacob. Glenn Eno says, I don't know if this is supposed to mean, I think Wee Philly has a crystal ball, Wembley and top 2. He knows things, but he's put it, Wee Philly is a crystal ball. So I don't know if he's on about me shiny buns there anyway. Jacob, does Stuart Donald deserve any credit for selling to the right person? Hopefully, right person.
Well, it's like what we were just saying before. I mean, you could say when Stuart Donald came in about, does Ellis Short deserve credit for that? The answer was no, because look at what Stuart Donald turned out to be honest. So I think we can't really answer that question until the next year or so, until we properly find out what this lad's all about. But yeah, it's all, listen, it's brilliant that it's been done, but I think we can't overlook at things too much at the moment. We have to start doing the judging as the months go on.
That'll do. Thank you. Thanks for keeping it brief, everybody, apart from Jack. Thank you. Right. What are we doing next?
Can't go,
right.
man.
So listen. Right. Last night, of course, we actually made it to Wembley, and only Sunderland fans could put it down on it and start saying the penalties were the penalties were rubbish and all this. And you think, for God's sake, man, we've got to Wembley. It doesn't matter if the penalties were rubbish. I mean, look at the semi-final against Man United. I mean, that was the worst penalty shootout in history, but we won it, so it was all right. So last night, 1-1 draw with top of the table, Lincoln. What about we'll go to Dino first, because no doubt Dino's a negative slant on it. Go on.
What we're talking about the game, because you broke up for me there.
Yes, the game. What did you think of the performance last night?
Well, on my prediction, I did say 2-2, but we'd win on pens. So I was in the right frame. I knew we'd draw and go on pens, but I didn't get the score right. So I'm taking the points for that, to be fair. The game on a whole. I am. The game on a whole. We had a makeshift defence in the second half. We lost Bailey Wright, which is terrible, which is really bad news for us in the league. But second half, we were much better. We created chances. We made their keeper make saves. People are blaming Lee Burge for the goal. Don't understand how they're blaming him for the goal. Not his fault at all. It was the defence not marking. He made a good save, but unfortunately, he only had so much time to react and the score. But Charlie Wyke bounces with a header, another assist for Aidan McGeady. That link up seems to be working really well. That's 5 goals for Wyke and 5 assists for McGeady, and he's just assisting Wyke, which is great. To be fair, I thought we should have won the game. We created the better chances. It went to pens. The pens were awful, probably the worst penalties I've ever seen, but I'll take it, because normally that goes against her in a penalty shootout, but I actually went for it, and it's good practice for the actual Wembley final. If it does go to penalties, we've won a penalty shootout, so it should lead in good stead for the final if it does go to penalties.
Fair enough. Mad Macam 88 on the chat says frogs legs on Wembley way. Well, you can. I'll take my cheesy chips.
Pink slice.
Mad mistake. Mad mistake. What did you? What did you think of the performance overall last night?
Right, put into perspective, Lincoln's top of the table, playing good football, good squad, good team. You're not top of the table for no reason. So, they were a difficult team to come up against. I thought the first 15 minutes, Lincoln were the better side. They were sort of doing the high press in our faces, passing the ball really well. We were a little bit sort of, I think after the Lord Mayor show Doncaster match, we were a little bit sort of slack, getting going, a bit quiet starting off. But as the game wore on, after about 15, 20 minutes, we started to get a foothold in the game. We started to dictate the pace, dictate the game. The players started to wake up a little bit. I thought by half-time, we were the better side. Now, there was a stat saying that Lincoln have scored the most goals in the second half of a match than any other English side, throughout all of the leagues. So they're dangerous in the second half. And they did score. They came out there. They sort of upped the pace a little bit. The manager must have had a few words with them at half-time. But again, as soon as they scored, which they were fortunate, mind, because they got a throw-in, and Johnson was not happy about that throw-in, and we sort of relaxed a little bit. They got the goal. But put in perspective again, even with McLaughlin coming on, we had Luke O'Nien, a midfielder, as centre-back. So it's a makeshift defence. Then McLaughlin had to come on again, so it was even more makeshift. So at the end of the day, you have to give credit to Luke O'Nien and McLaughlin for doing such a good job. The only time they were out of position, sort of Gooch was standing sort of not doing much, and McFadden was out of position, and 09 was when they scored the goal. I thought Burge made a really good save, and I thought our defenders just did not react at all, and their striker was in the right position. He reacted first, scored a good finish, scored the goal, but after that it was all Sunderland. We had 3 fantastic opportunities to score within like a minute of each other, and it all came to Charlie Wyke, and it was third time lucky, put the ball in the back of the net, and then the game kind of fizzled out towards the end. What about the penalties? Now, it's the first time I've noticed Max Power actually, standing up and being a captain of the club. I never expected Max Power to take the first penalty. Now, he must have put his hand up and said, Gaffer, I'm the captain. I'll take responsibility. I'll get the show on the road. And he did the best penalty. His penalty was not going to be saved by anybody. Top right-hand side corner. Fantastic penalty from Max Power. The other ones, the keepers probably could have done better. But at the end of the day, it's a lottery penalty shootout. They missed one, hit the crossbar. Ledbetter, cool, calm and collected, put us to Wembley. I'm over the moon. We beat a good side, the best side in League One to make it to Wembley. It's got to be a good night all round.
Philip Stout says, get the mad mistake on the board. You got a lot of fans, Terry, tonight watching. We have got 190 people on the stream at the moment, 79 likes. We'd like to get to 100. It'll take you a second to just hit the thumbs up. Do that, give us a like, and let's get that number up. Also on the chat, no Wembley. At least it won't be 8 out of 8. I'm in that group as well. I've had 7 out of 7 defeats, so hopefully that's some sort of omen. Michael Bowers, the match last night, of course, it was a 1-1 draw against Lincoln. Overall, what did you think?
Well, I didn't get to... Well, first of all, when, say, Terry's got a lot of fans, we'll get Kaza to pay for an OnlyFans Mad Mistake page. I'm sure she'd be interested in that. As far as the game was concerned, I didn't get to see much of it. Yeah, sorry, I had to say that. Yeah, I didn't get to see much of the game. From it sounded like the first half, it sounded very dull. It sounded like nothing, like barely anything happened. So halftime, I didn't expect us to go and beat them 4-0 again, like the league game. It was not a sort of game. I did see the goals. Obviously, I was disappointed with the lack of organisation in the build-up to the goal. But to be fair, it's a makeshift back line, so it probably is going to make mistakes like that. What I was impressed with was, for once, we actually did well to react to going 1-0 down. And from what I did see, it looked like we did pepper their goal. But obviously, you guys will be able to say it better than I will. To get a very good header again, and another cross from our League One cheat code in Geedy by the looks of it. Very good header. And Wyke himself had a couple of other chances that you could argue he should have done better with, but you give him the lenient benefit of the doubt with that because of how many goals he scored. Penalty, when it got to penalties, I was pretty certain we were going to get knocked out because apparently Lincoln have won 3 penalty shootouts in the road to the semi-final, including away at Hull. So that in itself, to score all of our penalties, even though let's be fair, at least one of them, you could argue should have been safe, and the keeper 09's was not a good penalty, but at the same time, we got the look of the draw. You got to Wembley. And for me, I just view the trip to Wembley as a chance to end the curse there. And in particular, if we do happen to get in the playoffs, and especially if we make the playoff final, if we beat Tranmere, then we'll have already won at Wembley, psychologically and mentally. I've said it times, but that could really be beneficial to us. On paper, we are not going to have a better chance to end the Wembley hoodoo. But Tranmere have beaten Oxford and Peterborough, so they're not going to be pushovers. But let's just win. Just for once, can we actually turn up at Wembley and win? That would be nice. That's it.
Hopefully, Michael, hopefully. Jacob, the match last night then, 1-1 draw. Overall, what did you think?
Pretty dull game, to be honest. First 5 minutes, we looked the more, I would say, energetic side after that. Oh, bit of an echo there. After the first 5 minutes, I thought Lincoln did very well. That they did more on the ball when they were in possession. They looked dangerous when they were going forward, especially on the flanks. Their 2 fullbacks at times were causing us damage. They had a good amount of pace on them, and that they passed the ball about really well. And when we had possession last night, we didn't really do much with it. And I think the changing point in the game for me was when we brought Chris Maguire and Jack Diamond on. I think from there, we were getting the crosses into the box. And I think the likes of Lyndon Gooch, and even though Callum McFadzean had a decent game last night, I think him on the left-hand side, I think, was relied on to put the ball into the box on a few occasions in the first half. He wasn't doing that, but he did have a good game on his defensive duties last night. But yeah, when they came on after their equalising goal for Anthony Scully, Lee Burge potentially could have tipped that round for a corner, but then again, I always thought we were in the game. We were knocking on the door. Charlie Wyke didn't necessarily have the best of games last night, but right place, right time. So many times this season. Brilliant header into the far corner. Fantastic. And then on the penalties, like Dino was saying, some of them were really poorly struck, to be honest. I mean, it was heart in mouth moment during that shootout, but you can't complain when your side nets all 5 of the spot kicks. We go through, one of theirs hit the bar. Luck of the draw in the final, mate. Can't complain. Happy days. Let's crack open some cans.
Oh, good finish there. Well rehearsed, that Jacob. Well done.
On the bottles.
So 1-1, 5-3 on penalties. We got to Wembley in the end. Overall performance, Jack?
Overall performance, well, I think it was a very stale first half, which I think was caused by 2 teams who weren't really committing, weren't really gambling, and I think it made it difficult for either to break each other down. They ended up getting their goal. I've watched the goal, their goal back quite a few times, and I think I want to retract my statement on Burge ever so slightly, just a little bit. As much as, he could have done better, whatever. He did do well to get down, and he didn't have a lot of time, and it was quite a reaction save. Having watched it back a few times, I can see what people are saying now. Really, I think the main fault for their goal, to me, has to go yet again Callum McFadzean, who was just chasing after the ball, completely lost his man. He does it all the time, and Scully, their right midfielder, just comes into the box unmarked, slots it into an open goal, and there wasn't a lot Burge could have done about it when I have watched it back. As well as their midfielder coming into the box completely unmarked as well. I think the game completely flipped on its head when McGeady got given a bit more of a free role, and he was able to go out on the left.
See you later. I think he pressed F2.
Bye-bye, Jack.
Right, just very quickly on the chat then, we don't know where Jack's gone. He'll be back in a sec. Pack that in. Steve WhatsApp says, as an Argyle fan or a Plymouth fan down there watching, just popping in to say hi and congratulations on the takeover. I really hope now there are brighter days ahead for us superb fans. Stevie, thank you very much. That is very kind of you. Thanks for tuning in. Great club, Plymouth, as well. So good luck for the rest of the season yourselves. So thanks for tuning in. We haven't got a clue where Jack's gone. Right, quickly, because we are running out of time. We've hit over 100 likes. Yes, Dino, you're trying to get in quickly.
Yeah, there's someone on the comments, and I'm guessing they're a Tranmere fan. Leah Dell says them have beat Peterborough, Oxford. So them think, well, I'm guessing she thinks that they're going to win it this year because they've beat them teams. She reckons, or he reckons.
Right. Okay.
It's going to be their year.
Right. We've got that quote up now. Leah Dell. Obviously a Tranmere fan. Thank you very much, Leah, for tuning in. We will say, good luck to you in League Two. We'd like to wish you luck for the final, and we are by no means taking it for granted. You've done superbly in this competition. You've beaten some good sides, and I know we a little bit disrespectfully really said we'd like Tranmere in the final, but I don't think we will take you lightly.
She's a Sunderland fan.
Very quickly trying to get in.
Sorry, she's just come up on the chat.
I wish Tranmere fans all the best of luck going into the final. But what I will say is, if you dare think in that final you're going to throw on a substitute in the midst of one of your players getting sent off, if it does happen, think again, mate. It's not like 20 years ago, like you cheated us in that FA Cup tie in 2000. Still shocks a lot of Sunderland fans to this day how the referee didn't notice that, but that won't happen again. But bring on the final.
There you go. Once again, I was there. Jack wasn't even.
Not like holding a grudge, is it?
It's great.
I know. I know. That's
Sorry
right.
about that.
Leah.
Few technical problems.
Yeah, sorry, Leah.
He's back. Go
what
ahead.
Leah
not
is
be
a Sunderland
changed.
fan.
Wow.
You looking like that?
Yeah.
Would you like us to
Right,
finish
well,
your point, Philly, or are we
no,
done?
not really, because we're running
No.
out of time. I was
All
gonna.
right then.
There was other points I wanted to bring up on that game last night, but we basically got 5 minutes. So, lads, I really do need you to keep it brief as we pass this round. We've got
Jack.
Burton Albion on Saturday. We're away at Burton. They are our bogey team. I mean, very much so. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is the manager. I've been informed by Michael earlier. Thanks for that. They are bottom, but they're on a bit of a run. What do we think? I think we'll go straight, more or less, for give us a few lines on what you think. If you think we're going to do well, and then give me a score prediction. So we'll go to Jack. You can go first.
Well, I talked about this in the previous show, which I'm sure is coming on the channel any minute now. Just quickly plug that. Yeah, Burton's currently sat bottom of the table, but since Hasselbanks came in, they've really improved defensively in particular, and they don't tend to concede a lot of goals. I think they've kept three clean sheets in the last 4 games. So that's going to be the key really. If we can break that, and if we can get a goal, which through McGeady and Wyke, hopefully we can do with the great form they're on. Hopefully we should be able to break through. I think it'll be a tough game. It'll be a tougher game than a lot of fans would expect with them being bottom of the league and the RO Boga team. I'll give them a quick prediction. Actually, I'll leave it for the preview show. I think I said it on there. Right,
okay. Thanks for that, Dino. I was going to do the same. When we say just keep it brief, don't follow Jack's lead. When we do
I'll
that.
have to work on it.
Right, so there is the preview of the Burton game coming up right after this. It'll be on our channel. Check that out. You can see Jack's prediction there. Michael Bowers, going to be a tough one. Just a quick, what you think on the game and what the score's going to be. I couldn't even get my words out then.
Well, it always is a difficult game because every time we come up against them for whatever, we're going to struggle against them. So we're well in the last few meetings. They've won 3 of the last 4, I think, while keeping clean sheets in the process. He's definitely, Jimmy Floyd, Hasselbanks improved them. However, like I said, there's no point in beating Doncaster if we don't follow that up the game. Not saying it's going to be straightforward, but if we're wanting to try and get into the playoffs, or even though we're 8 points off top 2, you've got to be winning. But we've been here before. It's all about going on a winning run. Let's see if we can do it.
Prediction?
That's it. I'm finished. 2-1 Sunderland.
2-1 Sunderland. Right, Dino, quick as you can.
Burton 1.
And a prediction.
Yes.
Right, go on, Dino.
I think it's our time to beat them. We went to Wembley. We've won the other week when Charlie White scored 4 goals. It's our time to beat them. I think we'll beat them. I think we will. It's our time to beat them. We're on a high now. Take over Wembley. We're going to beat them. Simple as that.
Score?
2-0 Sunderland.
2-0. Even Dino predicting a 2-0 win. Things are looking up on Wearside. Mad mistake. Burton.
Ends on a positive.
Oh, look, we've even got the scorers. All right, so that's 3-1. Terry, 3-1.
Has Terry lost his voice? Has he lost his voice? Because he seems to do more writing than talking today.
Yeah.
Jacob.
Sorry, I was laughing at what Terry was doing. Listen, we're on a high at the moment. New takeover seal. We're going to Wembley, but it's not guaranteed that we're going to put in a brilliant performance on Saturday. Yes, they're bottom of the league, but looking at their form, they've got 3 wins out of their last 5 league games. We can't afford to take them lightly. To be honest, it'll be a tough game. I think they're on a high at the moment, so I think a scrappy 1-0 Sunderland win. I think, and if you offer me that, I'll take it.
Right, fair enough. Don't forget you get Jack's prediction on the preview after this. I think we're on a high. I think we've got the Wembley. We're off to Wembley. We've got the takeovers gone through.
We need to forget about that now.
We comfortably beat Doncaster. I just think 3-0 to Sunderland. I can't see it being anything else. So put your mortgage on that, and you can buy me a drink. Later. I'm on the drunk, by the way. Yes, Mad Mistake.
I found my voice again.
Yes, sir.
It's just a typical Sunderland thing to do, to go and get beat on Saturday after all this positivity in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. 100%. That is so Sunderland.
Yeah.
And of course,
and
they are our bogey team. Right, look, we really are out of time. We're on the up now. Top two definitely beckons. Up by Easter and all that. Back on. We've not got a chance to talk about that, but we will be back on Sunday for a Sunday bunch, so we can continue that. We're here Saturday for a live stream, Burton Albion versus Sunderland. Tune into that. It's getting very popular now, so you can do that. Of course, Terry will be doing one on his channel as well if you want to see it done properly. There you go. And don't forget then, right, go on, Terry. Or was that? No, right. That is it from me, from myself, Wee Philly, from Michael Bowers, from Jacob Kirkbride, from the Mad Mistake. Is that what you're on, subscribers? Mad Mistake is almost at 10,000 subscribers. So please go to his channel if you're not already a subscriber and subscribe there. Dino was with us tonight as well, and Jack Dodds. Please like, share and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And don't forget, right after this, you can watch the Burton Albion preview on our channel here. Do that. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll all be back on Sunday for an edition of the Sunday Bunch. So bye, lads. See ya.
Keep the faith, Howard the lad.
3 points, please.
Hey.